Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a wet, raining Carrow Road. It's a bit windy as well, so I might not make this the longest because the wind will probably knock out the sound. But you can see over there, Vrancic just chatting to the club media, right next to the goal where he, of course, scored. There's Mr. Gorham making now regular appearances in his videos. Yes, of course, in front of the Barclay where Vrancic scored his second winner in a week. As Norwich City have beaten Wycombe 2-1. It's interesting. I was thinking about this video report with about 15 minutes to go, thinking, I couldn't really see Norwich winning it, although they were growing in pressure. And I was just thinking, you know what, I'm just going to have to go here and just stand here in front of you and say, that was rubbish. Norwich were rubbish. Really good in the first 10 minutes, obviously. The spaces were massive. They got themselves ahead with a beautifully worked and taken goal by Tamer Pukki. And you just think, this is ideal. Look at how far Wycombe look off it. Norwich then royally gift an equaliser, and then the whole dynamic of the game changes, which is why we all love watching football, because there's something living about a game of football, and it evolves and it changes, and you can't control it because it's like a beast you're trying to tame half the time. And that was what the game became. It became a horrible beast that Norwich were trying and failing miserably to tame from that point on, having completely left a door open to Wycombe, a team that had scored one championship goal but hadn't recorded a point ever in the championship before, because this is their first season in the competition, so at this level. So of all of Norwich's making from that point on, they were horribly disjointed. They worked hard, they tried, they probed, they grew in pressure. They created the odd chance, but they didn't really make the goalkeeper work. They didn't really show a lot of quality in the final third, and they did still look occasionally open at the back against a team who, you know, put in a huge amount of work and effort. And I'm really not going to be patronising, but they look well off being a championship side come the end of this season, and I think that's the reality of it. Therefore, it is, of course, a wonderful feat of Mario Vrancic engineering that he's managed to turn a free kick right on the edge of that penalty box, and done enough with it to take a bit of pace off, to not curl it at all. As you will see, it literally went up over the wall but didn't really veer horizontally. It was purely up and down vertically, right into the top corner. Keeper, defence, no chance. Just a wonderful winning goal, and a remarkable moment, which is also worth pointing out, was in front of the Barclay. Now, actually, today's game, as you will find out on The Athletic during the weekend, I was in there. So Mario Vrancic has just scored his winning goal, and I was in there with 100 fans, unable to see it, but in the actual presence of the game. Just a bizarre circumstance. But you know what? There were so many lovely things about sharing that game with those 100 fans. Which you'll get to read about, but in a completely ridiculous scenario, it was quite reaffirming to experience the situation with them, as it was for them too, because they are sorely missing being a part of this. And when Mario Vrancic scores an injury time or 90th minute free kick winner in front of the Barclay, you want it to be a valued moment in the game, and something special to enjoy. He's looking very happy there. He's very happy. He wasn't annoyed with the questions either, so that's good. So just a wonderful moment of quality in a game that was really hard work to watch. There were moments off it all over the place. So fair play to Todd Campbell, because he never stopped trying to get on the ball and trying to make things happen, but just wasn't happening. And again, it's his second game back from a little breakout, so I'm always conscious that actually the first game someone has, whether they've been out for a long time or form or whichever, you don't really worry so much over them in that game. It's the second game, and you see how they then go about it, and maybe the third game, and then they have to get up to speed almost. So Todd's done okay today. Emmy really struggled, and it's the first time he's really struggled this season. I think he was frustrated, and for someone who loves playing football, maybe there was just an element of what are we doing drawing 1-1 here with Wycombe that going through his head. I don't know, only he can answer that question, but you can understand why he stayed on the pitch, but you kind of wondered whether A, he was going to come off, or B, he was going to get himself taken off one way or another. The goal Norwich conceded is shocking in terms of communication and an abomination of defending, to be honest. But they probably don't need me to say that. they'll all know that. And again, you know, I suppose we're getting into the third game. They looked so secure in other games that it was just a bit strange that they looked so insecure in that moment. Norwich actually defended most of their set pieces pretty well, but Wycombe did have one or two chances. So again, it's an adjustment, but the reality is at this level you can give a team one or two chances and they won't necessarily score. But I want to see Norwich be tighter, and I want that to be something that they grow into as the season goes on. There were other moments where Norwich looked a little bit lethargic, and I wondered if it was mentally rather than physically, or just from that fact of having a big week. It's been a big week, and I suppose still getting up into the run of it. And from some players who were probably knackered after the international break. Moments in the game in the second half, I thought early on in the second half, where it was just like, you just feel like you need someone to give you a kick up the backside just to get yourself going again. So maybe that was a natural thing, and I suppose to then again come out of that situation having won the game, that is an exceptional thing, just in such unusual and difficult circumstances where they probably are going to, it's like a real credit for the result, but not much for what got them there. And that's probably how I feel about it, which is potentially harsh, but we're talking about a team with sort of high hopes. And as I said, the exceptional fact is they've won the game, and they've now got 13 points from their opening 7 fixtures. Are we on now? Can't really remember. So, you know, you can't really ask for too much more. They've had some good fixtures this week. We will find out a fair amount more when they head to Brentford, of course, in midweek, and then Bristol City away at the weekend. Two pretty tricky fixtures. I couldn't have asked for much more of them, really, so up to this point. So let's see what they do with those 2 games, because they're going to be proper tests, and they'll have to do them both. And then the game after that, which forgive me, I'm not sure what it is it Millwall at home potentially? It's someone at home, because Norwich have to do it without Adam Eder. He got sent off in extra time after the winning goal, I think it was. I think it was Jacobson had hold of his legs as he tried to get clear, so Eder pushed him to the floor, I think around chest area, but obviously Joe Jacobson holds his face. The referee wasn't great, and pulled out a red card. I don't think Adam could probably have too many complaints, really, because you just can't react in the first place. So Norwich will have to make do without him, which is annoying because Jordan was ineffective today and struggled to get in the game. Maybe it wasn't his sort of game. It will be interesting how that develops over the coming games. I can see Daniel going back to just having one of him and Pukki up top, and Timu's goal was wonderfully taken in the first half. So I could see maybe Jordan now coming back to the bench for the Brentford game and then coming on later on. But mainly down to Mario. Daniel Farker is having an impact with substitutions, which is great, and it was good to see Shemik Header back on as well. He came on late on, and I think he helped stretch the game a little bit as well. Would have liked to have seen that earlier, because I think it could have helped earlier, but Norwich are getting it done at the moment. What they'll have to do is continue to adapt to that to make sure that they keep getting it done when they need to get it done. I think I've spoken about everything. I don't think there's much more to say. I always feel like I've forgotten things. Bank it, move on. No one's probably going to remember this game in a few months' time. If everything goes well, is probably the best thing to say. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I will be at Brentford on Tuesday, all being well, so I will see you there. As I said, check in on The Athletic after my piece in the Barclay today, but also got some really nice pieces coming up for you over the course of this week, and so keep an eye out and get involved there. Leave your comments and questions. I always have a read wherever you're watching. I appreciate it. Subscribe and follow to make sure that you keep track of where these videos are. I didn't do any live Q&As on Facebook or YouTube last week. Hopefully I'll do them this week. That's the plan. Normally on Wednesday afternoon on Facebook, Friday afternoon on YouTube. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, have a great weekend, enjoy another Norwich City victory, because you probably wouldn't have enjoyed the actual game, and especially make sure you enjoy Mario Vrancic's wonderful free kick. Until next time, and probably Tuesday, take care of yourselves.